Well, it's also in the air, and that one does come apart.
Oh, okay, because it was like, there was no resistance. I was like, did I do this right, or what's going on?
You're good. Come on. No, we're not doing silly handshakes.
You were going to hit me. I thought you were going to hit my arm, so I thought we were coming back for that.
Okay, that's good. Made up, right there.
Right there, it's done. Feature, which means we'll do 2 heats of 10 laps each, and that'll determine where we qualify, and then after that we'll be doing a 60-lap feature race. So a little bit of a longer race, but we're just doing one tonight, so that'll be a little bit something different, but we have done it a couple times already this year, so hopefully we can get our car good for the long run, and we've been struggling with that a little bit. Last week we builded loose throughout the race, so as the race went on we got looser and looser. I think we fixed that problem, but honestly there's really no way to tell until we run a bunch of laps. So hopefully we fixed that and we've made our car the best that it can be for our heats, and then we'll be good in the future. Nick, you look like Wolverine.
Static wedge out, we added a little bit of bar.
I have no idea what that means.
So put a little extra sway bar in it, which will make it should be a little better through the middle and better off, and it won't free up in the long run is our hope for it.
Okay, sounds good.
Rolling green, 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 a little higher, turn a big burn off. Come on now. Nice in, slow car high. And clear all around, just come on now. Look at that 10.
So we did a lot of laps in the first practice, and I think it went pretty good. Honestly, I think that although we did a lot of practice laps, it wasn't super beneficial because we did a lot of different lines and a lot of different points in our first practice session because we were trying a bunch of different stuff out after the changes we made this week. So I'm still kind of unsure about what I want to do in the car. We did make an adjustment and hopefully it helps it, but I'm not really sure. I think the practice went pretty good and I think the car will be pretty good, but we're just going to have to see how it goes in the 60-lap race.
Coming up on the 33 and out of the 6 lane here. Big burn off there, nice start, big burn off. Good corner there, Kenny. Get into 3 hard. Nice in, you picked up a lot on the 33 there. So a little free on entry, cuts great, and a little free off.
Kind of fast, but could probably take that out. But, we'll see. Cause we got 60 out, but the center's pretty good.
Okay, big smoke in the right front here. You did do quite a few laps though.
Yeah, watch out.
Did it get any better or any worse as you ran, Kenny?
I don't really know. I was trying a bunch of different stuff. There's a bunch of rubber in our caliper.
That's just brake rubber? Or tire rubber, I mean?
Yeah.
Where is it? Ah, yeah. You want to grab some pliers and just pull that out, Kenny?
Yep.
I knocked it out, but spin the tire and knock it out everywhere. Even screwdriver will probably do. I think there's just that one little mark there now. 3 looked a little better. Hard for me to tell 1, 2. But 3 looked good. But it was free, so like even without braking, you think you were having to turn right?
I think so.
Okay.
but I mean, like, if it was half braking and then half not, like,
But we were free all around, so we need to snug the car up everywhere.
Yeah.
Let's get the right side tires changed for at least that last practice, so you can at least cut those new ones in. We're gonna size them up.
All right, so this week, our number that we draw actually matters because we're doing a 60-lap heat race, or we're doing a 60-lap feature race today, which means that we'll do 2 heat races. I thought there was something in this bucket. Oh, 25, not good. Thanks. Maybe next time, thanks.
We talked to Danny and Dale, giving us a hand and made a couple of changes before we came up today. And Kendra said the car was free all the way around, going into the corner, cut really well, and it was free coming out, which means loose. So instead of turning left to go through the corner, she's turning right to keep the car as straight as possible. So we're just making another small adjustment to try and add some wedge to the car to tighten the car up so it's going to hold the racetrack a little bit. We'll see this in the the next practice that we're going to do. It may or may not make a big difference. And then tonight we're running 2 heat races because we're doing a 60-lap race again. So those heat races are a really good opportunity for some of the drivers, Kendra included, to try something different, see if it's going to work or not work in preparation for the 60-lap race. So are we good with just that small wedge adjustment then? Again, we won't go a whole lot.
I feel like the right rear is not even close to the spring. Because when I went and moved it, it was like...
Well, it's also in the air, and that one does come apart.
Oh, okay, because it was like, there was
free.
no resistance.
Yeah.
I was like, did I do this right, or
Yeah, you're
what's
good.
going
You're
on?
good. Come on. No, we're not doing silly handshakes. Go get hard into 3 here. Nice in. Big roll. Big in from there. Come on now, big. Get that 2-4X. Wider inside at the bottom. Big jam off. Clear by a 7 here. No pressure. Clear by 12.
Yes, the changes we made helped a lot. We got in a lot better than we normally do into the corner after the changes. We did have 2 new tires on that we're going to be running for the feature, so that definitely helps. But I think that the changes helped pretty good. We were coming off the corner really tight though, so I couldn't get on the gas very well. But through the center and in, we were really, really fast. So we'll just have to change that off, and hopefully that'll put us in a really, really good spot for the feature.
Really slow down to the bottom. Take the pitch. Lots of room up to you. Nice entry to the bottom. We're going back to the tires that we ran for a couple of weeks just for the heat races. Today, since we're running a 60-lap feature race, in order to add a little bit more racing for everybody, including the fans in the stands, we get to run 2 10-lap qualifying heats instead of just time trials like we have in the past. So we've cut in a couple of tires for the 60-lapper that we'll keep just for the 60-lapper. They'll be nice and fresh. And we're going to put last week's old tires on for the heat races. It might be nice to run these tires in the heat races, probably maybe get a better finish out of it, start closer to the front. But we're going to try something a little different, run on the older tires for the heat, keep the fresh tires for the feature, and make up all our spots if need be come feature time. 10-4. Green, 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 green. Dig, 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 dig. Come on now. Right on his bumper. Get ready to go 3. Inside. Hold them down. Inside. Half back. Just inside. Half back. Half back. The first heat was a little tough. Started in the 4th position on the outside behind the 33 car. Green flag came out and started going. The 33 car started falling back a bit. Nowhere to go, running on the outside. You know, I'd said, look, if it opens up and you can go 3 wide, go 3 wide, but don't be silly. It's just a heat race. So that opportunity didn't come. The 33 was running a really good line. picked up quite a bit of speed in the last couple of weeks that he's been out. So
for me, the car performed really, really well. I had a pretty decent car. We got a little bit loose coming off the corner, but I mean, that's kind of expected. My dad put a little bit of air in the right side tires because he thought it would be better for the heat so they wouldn't have as much time to grow. So he wanted to start them a bit higher, and unfortunately, I think we just had too much stagger, and it had us loose off the corner, but going in, we were really good, and through the center, we were good. It was just getting off, so.
Use the whole track, halfway this time by, halfway, use the whole track. Late entry turn.
It's really difficult to pass cars in an 8-lap race, let alone when you're stuck behind one. So, especially being on the outside, it's really hard to get down when everybody's nose to bumper on the bottom lane. So, I mean, we kind of got screwed over there, and we didn't get down, obviously, until all the cars had went by us, and then by that time I obviously got past him, and unfortunately everybody was just gone in the pack. So it is what it is, and we're going to get him next race, so it's all good.
Checker flag, win one there.
Oh, it was okay. I mean, we got stuck behind a car on the outside, so that kind of sucks, but whatever, we'll get them next race, and we have the invert, so we're going to start third, and I think we'll be in a really good spot. It was pretty friggin' free.
Okay. I'm going to tighten up the stagger a bit.
What are we at?
Well, we're going to try and be like 3 5/8.
All right.
We were quite a bit more.
Like how much? Like 4?
Yeah. Now.
She was good, only 33 got your way and screwed you right up.
Yeah. Yep. It's all right, though. We'll be ahead of them this time. So we just got to go 3 wide. We just got to go 3 wide on the 57 and 46.
I don't think that'll happen.
You don't want to go 33 wide?
Well, I got the call that I was allowed to go 3 wide if the opportunity came up on the 98 and the 33. So I might have to take it if it's the 57 and the 46. I start third, so I want to improve on that.
We tried to raise the tire pressures for the heat race because we haven't run a short heat race in a while. Again, the hot weather, some older tires. We tried to do something a little different to have some go right off the start. Just didn't come in as well as we had hoped. The car was free. That being said, she did make a quality pass there, put herself up a spot, was catching the leaders. So we've made some changes, changed the tires for the second heat race. We've tightened up the stagger. We've reduced the stagger in the back so the car won't be so free coming off the corners. And we're going to hope for the best here. Starting third in our second 10-lap heat race, which will be our next race before our 60-lapper. It wasn't terribly loose off, just a little loose off.
It's pretty loose.
Just wondering if I should make a wedge adjustment as well.
Nuh-uh.
What do you think? No? All right.
It's just the heat.
Okay. We're using these heat races to determine how well the car's going to run for the 60-lapper to try and make some fine adjustments. And it's challenging when if you get hung up behind a car who's running a little off the pace, you can't run a good line, you're lifting early, you can't get onto the gas as soon. So it's really difficult to really tell, is it the car or is it the line? Is it the fact that we can't get on and off where she's used to? So there is a challenge if you kind of get hung up in a heat race or in any practice behind a car that's not running is as fast or faster than you. So there's no doubt that'll be some challenge for us in this next heat race. She's going to have 2 quick cars right in front of her. Hopefully on the green they get going really well, and I'm sure they will. And it should be a really nice second heat race, starting third here, hoping for a top 3 finish out of it. Green, 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 take, 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 take. Do not pin, outside, just outside, fender, quarter, door, car's back, outside, door, even. Turn a big turn here, even, that's it.
The heat went pretty good. We were pretty quick at the end of the race. We just got better and better and better as the race went on. We started really tight out of the corner, so we just couldn't gas as much as we wanted to getting out. So that's kind of unfortunate, but we know that we're going to have a good long run race because we were just better and better as the race went on. The car felt really good. I mean, you can't have it good all the way around the track all the time sometimes, and we sacrificed a little bit of exit for our entry and our center, but all in all, we did pretty good, and I think that we're going to have a really good race for the future.
So just ran our second heat, lined up third for the green. Looked like it was a really good starting spot for us. She ran side by side with a 3 car who started outside of her for a number of laps. They were door to door, door to door. The car was just a little free to start the race, and the 3 car got in front of her. They pulled away from the 2 cars that were in front or behind them, and then they started running away, catching the 2 that were in front. By the end of the 8-lap heat race, only an 8-lap heat race, she said the car was working much better. So I think we've hit something here for the feature. We're going to leave it alone when we are going to head out to the racetrack for fan appreciation, and once we do come back in, we're going to be sitting for a while before we run our 60-lap feature. So we'll see what happens with the weather, we'll see what happens with the racetrack, with how the cars are running, and then we may make a couple small adjustments on tire pressure, but that's about it.
So for the second feature, the top 8 qualifiers are going to draw. I'm not sure where I fall into that. I might be outside the top 8. I really don't know. So we'll have to see where we ended up qualifying, and then if we're top 8, we'll get to draw, and hopefully we get a much better spot than 8th to 12th. This is our last weekend of fan appreciation at Sunset Speedway, which kind of sucks because I always love meeting all the fans, and I know it's a great time for all of the people that come and watch, as well as all the drivers love fan appreciation. It's just a really nice time to like meet, especially a lot of the kids that are into racing. So I think it's a really big fan favorite, as well as they lower the gate admission on fan appreciation, which is really, really nice of them. So we just go out there and we sign hero cards and give away candy and meet all of our fans. So there you go.
Can I get
No
a
problem.
picture?
Of course.
Wait your turn. Come here. Here, give Maddie.
Hello. Was it good? Yeah. Good.
What do you say?
You're welcome.
Yeah, watch yourself, Tom.
Say thank you.
You're welcome.
Get to that hill.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, she's gonna post it on my Facebook.
Yeah. Hello, how are you guys?
About you?
I'm good. Of course.
How long did you have this car for?
This is my second year with this car.
It's my first time.
year?
You never know what I'll end up in next year. You never
Good
know.
luck. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thanks, eh?
No problem. You're welcome. I mean, it's a really great opportunity for people that come to the racetrack to go out and actually be able to meet their favorite drivers. No problem, thank you.
We're just about to run 60 laps. We haven't run on the racetrack for quite some time. We had a long intermission. Everyone was on the racetrack for fan appreciation. Love the fan appreciation. And watching Kendra on the racetrack interact with the fans, the little kids, the big kids, you know, the adults, it's a lot of fun. And, you know, she really enjoys it. She gets a lot of fun out of sharing her enjoyment for the sport and, you know, teaching the little kids and telling the little kids anyone can do this, right? It's really a sport that's a great equalizer. So that's a lot of fun for us. That being said, now we're going to sit for quite a while. We're going to run 3 or 4 features, 3 features before we get to go out on the racetrack. So the temperature's dropping quite a bit. The racetrack probably won't change a whole lot, but it'll be later. The tires are going to get, you know, less and less pressure in them because their temperature is dropping. The heat that was built up in them is going to go away. So again, we've made a couple of changes for the 60 lapper. That's a long time to run from the front to the back to the front. Wherever you may be starting, we all want to end up at the front. 7/8, so we want just over 2. He says
So it'll
you
be the
start
same
at
stagger,
the same
but they'll be
stagger.
lower?
That's right. And
Yeah,
as this
do
grows
that.
5, this might only grow 2, but the stagger should come up the same.
All right, do that.
Want to give it a whirl?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we qualified 8, so we're the last car that gets to draw. So we can't do any worse than that, so let's see what we pull. All right, let's see what we get. What's left?
4, 7, and 9.
Pray for me that this is a 4.
Last time I did that, I think you got 2.
Oh my God, look at that. All right, hold on. Let's just, all right. So the 10, thank you. The 10 starts on the pole. 24X is gonna start in the outside pole, and then it's the 3 and then me. So behind the 24X, I mean, it's a pretty good starting spot. We'll be near the front and hopefully our car just builds and it gets even better to stay there. So after the heat, they pulled the top 8 into tech and they had us all draw a number from 1 to 8, and that's where we would be starting in the feature. Unfortunately, they actually had a miscommunication, I guess, with the drivers, and they had told us that they were going to do that, but instead they took the fast qualifier, which was the 10 car, Gord Shepard, and they had him draw a number. He drew 5, and then that means that they invert the top 5 cars. So 1 will start in the 5th and so on. So after that happened, I actually ended up qualifying 9th, so I wasn't even anywhere near the spot I was going to be, and so we started the feature 9th. Gord had actually dropped back a spot, so we started 8th instead. Crazy at the beginning of the race. There was a lot of really close side-by-side, bumper-to-bumper racing, which was fun. My car wasn't very great on the outside like it normally is. It was okay, but not as comfortable as I normally am on the outside. And then when we got the first caution, which was for a blown motor in the 24 car, that was just wild to go into the corner behind another car and just not be able to see anything. And it's wild because you really do have to choose between, okay, do I stop really hard and maybe get hit from the back, or do I not stop hard enough and hit somebody in front of me? So you kind of have to pick your battle there, but we ended up not hitting anybody. The smoke cleared up and we ended up pulling into the infield, all of us, and they let us all get out of our cars while they cleaned up all the oil on the track.
We had an early caution. Someone lost a motor. The 24 car lost a motor, and after that caution came out, I think she lined up in the 7th place. She picked up a few spots and then got boxed in just a little bit, and the leaders kind of stretched out and pulled out. Then she started putting down some really good lap times. She had great racing with the 25 car. She caught up and had some great racing with the 98 car. We had a fantastic run tonight. Good to see that happen. And to be honest with you, front to back, the entire field ran really strong. Great racing all the way through. No beating and banging, no knocking here, no knocking there. Some really good racing, and we had a really long green flag run to end the race.
Me, the 25 and the 98 ran in a little bit of a pack that whole race, which was really nice until I eventually got by the 98. We had a really long green flag run. I think that we did 56 laps green actually from the first caution on lap 4 with the blown motor, and from there we kind of opened up a gap on the 25 car, and the pack ahead of us had opened up a gap on us. I was actually catching up to the 6th place car that was in front of us, probably had a straightaway on me, and by the end of it he had half, something like that. I'm really happy with the car. I think the crew is. I wish we could have pulled off a better position than 7th, a P7 finish. We're okay with that though. The car's in one piece and we're gonna be in a really good spot for the next time we do come out on the track. I think once we get our brake issue a little bit fixed, I think we'll have a really good long run piece.